Wow. Now that's what you call a California move-in party with a bunch of uninvited guests that will now rob you. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of We Are Change.org, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and crazy news out there to get into today. As of course, domestically, the situation is not all right, and it's only being made worse by a lot of woke democratic policies. But don't worry, NATO is now talking about their larger nuclear weapons as Elon Musk is worrying about a larger extinction event and mad scientists that have been let loose and are creating a lot of problems for humanity. We're going to be talking about that, plus all the latest news here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Sorry, Atlas is not here with me today, but can you guess where the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is from? Well, the caption already kind of sold it, but it's San Francisco, and I probably didn't need to tell you that, as the first comment underneath this video is, looks like it's a blue city culturally enriched problem. As some people are saying that these people were hungry and they just needed some bread in order to survive and eat. So yeah, there's that, as criminality is dramatically increasing in many democratic places, as of course New York City now is seeing one of its most famous, most prominent streets become a, quote, corridor plagued by junkies that are laying at tourists' feet in the streets that are littered with their bodies. As a stretch of Midtown Manhattan is now called a strip of despair, where, quote, smacked out addicts shoot up, light up, conk out at the feet of commuters and tourists. As a lot of people are kind of realizing that this whole kind of, war on drugs hasn't really worked out for the benefit of the general public out there, as Big Pharma, along with government regulators and bought-off medical doctors, just a few years ago created the opioid epidemic, which jump-started this larger problem with America and their issues of substance abuse. This, as criminality is becoming the new norm, where the New York State governor, along with the New York City mayor, just announced, hey, for your safety and security, you're not allowed to wear masks. That one's kind of ironic. That one's kind of funny, especially in hindsight, to still a lot of woke people loving to wear their masks. As these plutocrats announce this.
I see individuals on a subway being terrorized by individuals in masks. It's a cause for great concern. We have images of people with masks that almost cover up their entire face. It's impossible to find these perpetrators.
Mayor Adams is supporting the governor's possible ban, calling people who wear masks to harass subway riders and commit crimes cowards.
In our transit system, people have hid under the guise of wearing a mask to commit criminal acts and vile acts. And I think now is the time to go back to the way it was pre, where you should not be able to wear a mask at protests in our subway systems and other places.
This as in other places in the United States, like in Maryland. They're fighting a 300% spike in youth crime by giving out free slushies. Yeah. I don't think giving out a free beverage there is going to solve anything there, Becky. As of course, the poor 7-Eleven workers now will be inundated with more criminals that they have to deal with, all a part of a new government-failed, idiotic, stupid program that never wants to talk about fatherless homes, never wants to talk about crime statistics, never wants to talk about just how rotten and corrupted the entire system is. As of course, fixing your own problems, it's difficult. Giving out a slushie, that's easy right there.
Here in Tacoma Park, if police catch your child this summer in the act, they might get a ticket. The Operation Chill program is now underway, but take a look at the citation closely. It's a free Slurpee. This is an innovative way the police department here is aiming to reduce crime and build rapport between the youth and cops. Anytime an officer sees a child making a good decision, being kind or doing the right thing, they will issue a ticket locally. There has been a sharp increase in juvenile crime, and crime here in Tacoma Park has increased last year due to social issues, drugs, and changes in laws affecting juveniles, according to Police Chief Antonio Duvall. MCPD data shows since 2022, the number of juveniles arrested for violent crimes has risen in the county by more than 300%. From FY22 to 23, the number of juvenile violent crime suspects increased by 178%, and the number of young victims also rose in the county by...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure giving kids an exorbitant amount of sugar in ultra-processed, food-dyed, frozen poison juice that wrecks their guts and liver, that's gonna help. Yeah. Duh. But don't worry, guys. We have a social media scandal regarding Chuck Schumer putting cheese on uncooked meat on the grill, looking as literally devilish as he possibly can, as the next controversy that now everyone is discussing, as of course I don't care. What the hell? Again, we need term limits. You don't put cheese on top of a raw burger. I thought this guy was Jewish. Anyway, who cares? As your way of life, as your economic future is being literally robbed and deprived from you as a human being, with all semblance of dignity being stripped away by every larger cultural decay, distraction that keeps us not focused at the larger problems of our society, politicians in Washington, D.C. are freezing and still somehow being able to raise tens of millions of dollars. As another controversial issue is gripping the social media algorithms right now, and that, of course, is allegedly Biden freezing here with Jimmy Kimmel and Barack Obama, who had to walk him off stage. I think it's clear. There's a debate now kind of raging. No, he totally didn't freeze. No, he's totally fine there. As of course, it's pretty clear he's not. It's pretty clear he is not adept to dealing with the very serious pressures and problems of being the president of the United States. As of course, he is slow crawling and walking us up the stairs that he's falling off of to potential World War III. This as... instead of focusing on a lot of the real issues and the root cause of them domestically, internationally, we're causing a lot of problems, as the head of NATO is now talking about deploying more nuclear weapons around Russia's border in order to, quote, give a stark warning about the threats from China and Russia. As his exact words were that he needs to show off the fancy nuclear weapons that they have, that they need to take them out of storage, place them on standby, because the world is, quote, more dangerous than ever. Yeah, threatening to destroy the world many times over, which these nuclear weapons can do, isn't making the world safer. As well there, Mr. Stalinberg. As of course, we are on the brink of extinction in more ways than one, by the way, as warned by Elon Musk. We're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. But before we do, before things go kaboom, we wanted to remind you about a nature hike that we're doing for members of LukeUnfiltered.com later on this week near the White Mountains of New Hampshire this Friday, 12 noon Eastern time. So if you're in New Hampshire, if you're in Maine or Vermont, come out. It's one of the most beautiful places on the face of the earth, and it's going to be an honor to be walking, touching grass, being able to meet, being able to network with incredible individuals like yourself. And coming out, doing nature hikes is something that I want to prioritize, something that I want to share with you, and you can be a part of that amazing, incredible moment just by signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. If you're in Boston, don't come. You're okay. You're fine. Vermont, Maine, come out. New Hampshire, come out. Part of the Free State Project, part of PorcFest, come out. We're going to be doing live podcast shows, which you guys will be able to call into at PorkFest, where we will be there on the ground with a live studio audience. There's going to be a lot of really cool, awesome things unfolding, and you guys are a part of that. You guys finance it. You guys build it. You guys help me grow it through your support on lukeunfiltered.com. Your members video will be a little bit late. The schedule of the release for the members video will be not today, but Tuesday all the way up until Friday. I've been traveling. I'm obviously in a really crappy, horrible Boston-located crap hole, which, again, lots of weird people here. Conquered territory. I'm gonna do some serious walk and talks video all around this town, talking about how I really don't like it here for members that are gonna be available tomorrow. As of course we have 10 plus years of videos. They're usually centered around more positive topics like dieting, exercise, stretching, becoming the best, strongest version of yourself. And you can check it all out right now. This is why we also created wearechange.shop. We got a bunch of supplements available for you. Check it all out right now by clicking the link down in the description below. Signing up, it's quick, it's easy and simple, and I will see you there right after this broadcast and in Mother Nature this Friday, touching grass with you guys. As we should enjoy grass, we should enjoy life, we should expand it, we should grow it, and that's what a lot of individuals believe in, except for the few kind of sociopathic crazy people out there that want to stunt, destroy it, and stifle free humanity as much as they can. As of course replacement population levels in the Western world have been going down dramatically, as Elon Musk has been warning about this, as many Western countries look to replace their population with the importation of the third world. This, as the New York Post today is reporting, that non-citizens are getting voter registration forms access all around the United States, as the Republicans are doing their best to stop it, as they're usually little pathetic ninny soy boys that are absolutely ineffective at doing anything. Now, the birth rates aren't just collapsing in the United States. They're collapsing predominantly in places like Europe, in places like Japan, as there's national conversations about how countries should deal with this larger problem that will have not only significant economic ramifications, but also humanitarian ones. As if there's not enough young people out there, especially there to take care of the older ones, who's going to do it? Robots? AI? Maybe. But there's a demographic time bomb facing countries like the United States and the United Kingdom that are going to have huge cultural, economic, and social changes that are absolutely worth talking about. As population growth is really only happening in places like sub-Saharan Africa these days. And with populations being below the replacement levels, this goes bad pretty fast, pretty quickly. As it's not only a matter of people not having relationships and marriages, but there's also a larger chemical, biological war out there that is preventing people from having children, even when they want to have it. As the number of live births in places like the European Union are going down dramatically and are continuing to go down in very drastic levels. This is even with immigration that has been pumped into Europe on massive levels, and still the fertility rate is down and continuing to go down in places like Spain, Italy, Poland, Greece, Finland, Estonia, Austria, Cyprus, Norway, Portugal. All of these countries face some very significant challenges and problems ahead of them. As one of the few people that is actually championing this larger, important cause for humanity is a tech billionaire, that of course being Elon Musk, that just came out and said, "Extinctionist, see humanity as a plague." As he described a larger fight that he sees between expansionists and extinctionists, and I think that's the perfect way to describe a lot of these people who are buying off the science, buying off the regulators, buying off the politicians, and implementing policies that take away human life, that also stunt it, that also destroy it, that also, of course, hinder it in many ways, and even going as far as to literally discuss and to carry out experiments blocking out the human sun. Here's the comments from Elon Musk himself.
I do worry about certain existential risks like the low birth rate, which is accelerating in most countries. And really, this is one of those things that I think is underrated as an issue, is that if there are no humans, there's no humanity. You have to make them somehow, and I think we should be very concerned about the accelerating implosion of the birth rate. This is a super big deal. Like basically nothing else matters if there are no humans. Like as an initial premise, you must have humans for there to be civilization. Unless we're going to leave it all to the robots. In the sort of extreme form of the environmentalist movement, people start to view humans as a plague on the surface of the earth, as a fundamentally bad thing, and with the implication that if all humans disappeared, somehow Earth would be better off. This is the extinctionist movement, and I think you can really, at a fundamental level, you can think of things as a fight between expansionist and extinctionist philosophies, and that's what really matters. Like everything else is like if humans go extinct or civilization collapses, whatever policies we may have are irrelevant. So first and foremost, we must have an expansionist philosophy for civilization and for consciousness. We must seek to go beyond what we've done in the past to increase the number of humans, and this is incredibly fundamental. So one way or another, this must happen. Yeah.
So the final message is go forth and procreate.
Yes. And go forth and multiply.
Yes, messages that would probably set up a trigger warning for individuals like Bill Gates that talk about the inverse of this and the need to, of course, stifle and limit humanity and the population of this earth, as that's the biggest kind of representation of what Elon Musk described here as expansionist versus extinctionist. Personally, I'm a little biased on this particular conversation, since I believe in humanity and human beings and expanding us rather than limiting us and destroying us. As of course, life expectancy going down, global population set to fall for the first time in 700 years, fertility rates all-time low. As largely, there is also an attack against individuals, as if you are an expansionist, you are directly attacked by a lot of the institutions controlled by the extinctionists. And the extinctionists usually have bought off the science and created something called the Bill Chill. They have bought off the corporate media, which is available for sale. And this is why you see a lot of attacks with people saying that if you want people to have babies, you are now, quote, far right. There have been huge advertisement campaigns telling people not to have babies because, quote, it's going to make the weather not gooder. Yeah, that's literally the arguments out there in the corporate mainstream media articles that are literally saying, hey, for the sake of the environment, stop immediately procreating if you are white. Specifically detailing white couples and white families and pictures and advertisements, which are a little bit troubling, as of course, third world isn't dealing with the significant problems that the West is, specifically when it comes to population. As now we have a lot of censorious, sensationalistic headlines about heat waves and heat domes that we haven't, quote, seen in decades. CNN is sounding the alarms about the weather getting hotter, all according to the corporate media, because of human beings. And again, wherever you stand on this particular index, I think it's fair to say that looking at this heat index, understanding that there's other things going on in the solar system with our sun, with our magnetic plates, that really deserve a serious conversation that we're not having. The only conversation we're having is people bad, they breathe, they fart, ass bad, make hot, hot not good. As if you look at the larger kind of context to a lot of these conversations, a lot of them are just ridiculous. And yes, the weather gets hotter, especially during the summer, but there's a lot of people, there's a lot of government institutions that are talking about engineering the climate, as it's pretty fair to say that with Russia even bragging about having their own kind of tsunami weapons, that the governments and institutions are far more capable at altering and changing our weather more than we actually know about as of right now. with the public knowledge out there. As now we're talking about solar radiation modification. I'm not kidding you. They're talking about spraying aerosols into the sky in order to reflect the sun away from humanity. A project that Harvard scientists have already begun to experiment with, experiments that were financed by Bill Gates in Europe that were stopped because of concern there, that are now being done and conducted secretly without the consent of the local population. As of course, hey, if you're going to be blocking out my sun, I'm going to have a conversation here, okay? We're toying with Mother Nature. We're toying with a system that is karmic, a system that in itself has many different cycles, has many different kind of ecosystems and things dependent on each other if they work like they're supposed to be working. There's something else greater than us at play here, especially when it comes to the kind of beauty, the kind of danger that nature is. Toying with it, tinkering it, manipulating it has severe ramifications, as of course so does weather modification, so does trying to control the rain, as we have seen massive floodings in places that have been accused of doing weather modification inside of them. As it's also important to note here that a lot of local jurisdictions' weather is usually taking on the tarmac of airports that are extremely hot. As a lot of people don't realize this, but the weather stations have literally started to take the temperature at airports off of the tarmac that is increasingly hotter than, of course, anywhere else. And when this happens, when you look at the data, it's like, look how red, look. Where did you get that? Oh, off the tarmac. Huh. An interesting way to calculate the temperature there, buddy. You think maybe we would have more of an honest way to do it that doesn't talk about the global heating effect, but hey, that's just me. I want to leave the question to you. Are you an expansionist or are you an extinctionist? And what are you doing to propel your larger expansionist thing? Yeah. Let me know down in the comment section below. I'm going to be shooting a ton of videos right now. Those videos available for members probably tomorrow. I'm going to be working really hard. We're traveling around the road. Sorry for the delay in schedules here, but stay tuned. I wouldn't be able to do any of this. I wouldn't be able to work if it wasn't for you guys, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.